Welcome back to the Anderson Bros Outdoors. I'm Jake, and today we've got something special. It's always something special. I'm just kidding. Today we have a new car we're going to unbox, review, and rip. That new car just happens to be the 1RC 1/18 scale late model RTR. Alright everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to unbox and open and run and rip and ride and whatever you want to call it, this 1RC late model 18 scale dirt car. Before I do that, I'd like to give a shout out to Ultraline Hobbies in Topeka, Kansas. Got these in stock. They are fabulous to work with. So you go in there, tell them you want one, and they will hook you right up. This one happens to be the clear body. So I will be painting the body at some point. I'm obviously not going to paint it before I ride it today. We will get to that in a later video. Let's get this thing open. Cut the factory seal. You can see the vehicular is $209.99. It's inside the box. We have a sticker sheet with the manual. And the first thing we have right on top is this car. It's actually really sweet. We're gonna set it to the side before we get into detail on that. Look what else we have. Well, we do have a bunch of foam in here, which could come in handy later on, potentially, we'll see. Oh, all right, and that's it. My fingers don't wanna work. All right, just pour it all out of here. So it looks like the only thing in that box is the radio. It's like a bind piece and then an antenna mount. Let's see what's in this little box here. Looks like we have a couple of things. Some shock spring adjusters. So these go in between the shock collar and the spring and make the spring stiffer. Looks like we have a tool and an Allen key. We have some remote batteries, and we have a charger for the battery, I assume, that's inside of the truck. Let's go ahead and pop open the batteries and L charger there. So this is a FlySky GT2E. I really like the FlySky controllers, or I would put them in the Traxxas controllers at the top tier for RTR cars. Got all of your settings here, and I like how it's covered, so that way you can't accidentally make changes. It's a nice size, it's a nice weight. It could be a little more compact, I think, but overall, it's not a bad controller. Batteries are finally out. Let's pop them in. Whew, bam. Controller is done. We do have this little charger. It's a USB charger. There is a warning with the charger, but nobody really cares about that for the moment. Let's look at this car. One of the first things we're gonna do with the car is we're gonna weigh it. So let's put this up here like that. 1.3 ounces is that bowl weight. We're gonna zero it. The car itself is 10.23 ounces, which in turn is less than a pound. It's 0.63 pounds, really 0.64 pounds. So just over half a pound in weight. Everything is hex screws. Immediately notice the awesome detail everywhere. You see a little Hoosier on the tires. You see the driver, the cage, the air filter. I mean, this looks just like a dirt track car. It's got the motor and the exhaust. It's got the rear axle with the shocks on it. It is a 4-link rear. Oh, I lied. It is a 3-link rear. And then the front is got the A-arm fronts. And then the motor itself actually houses the servo. Let's go ahead and take the body off real quick and take a gander underneath. So here's the body. These are obviously replaceable. You can get new ones, paint it, whatever. You can see that the outer plastic is already coming off. I'm not a huge fan of that. So when I do paint it, if I do get overspray, it will be visible. So that's kind of annoying. And then you have, it's really a 2-piece body. This inner body here, this covers the area around the cage or under the cage, I guess. And then the driver can sit in the driver's seat. You see that the driver is black molded plastic, and then its body is actually Lexan, so it's gonna need to get painted as well. Most of this chassis is plastic. Really all of the chassis is plastic with the exception of the front bumper, that is steel, and then this side bumper here, or this side piece of the chassis, which is steel. The rest is going to be plastic. It comes with medium grip tires. They sell hard and soft compound tires. Really, this car is made to race right out of the box. So there is box stock races, and if you look, the battery compartment is here at the bottom. We can actually take that out. It comes with a 230 milliamp hour nickel hydrate battery. This is the stock class battery. It is a 2S battery. This is what you would run if you were racing the stock class. You can also run the mod class. So the mod class comes with a different motor. I think this is an 8,000 RPM, 8,700 kV motor. The upgraded motor is 10,000 kV. However, it is really uncontrollable. You don't really want to run that. I mean, the 8700 is fine. And then with the mod class, you'll also switch over to a lithium battery like this one and run that. So if you want to run both classes, you can absolutely do that as long as you keep the stock motor and the stock battery. Speaking of that, I'm going to go ahead and throw this on the charger while we're going over the car. So the reason that I purchased this car is now that it's getting cold outside, it's winter. The local hobby shop that I got this at, Ultraline Hobbies here in Topeka, Kansas, they actually have a track inside their store, and on Friday nights they're going to start organized practice and potentially races. Not only that, but like to have people over, get away and enjoy the hobby while it's cold outside and you can't really enjoy it because of the snow and whatever else going on outside. The car is really detailed. I will be painting everything to make it more realistic. And then, like I said, I will also be painting the body. So the battery is charged. I would highly recommend these two optional pieces. It's a lithium battery and then the ProTech charger. Speaking of such, I'm going to go ahead and get these plugged in and charging right now. So once we get done ripping with the nickel battery, we're going to swap on over to lithium and we're going to see how uncontrollable that is. So we got it on, turn on the controller, and we are green. We are good to go. So see, we're green there. We have wheel movement. We do have reverse, which is nice. Let's see if we can not break it. I think that's the wrong way. That's full speed. Whew, got a little reckless there. Turning is kind of strange on this. The left turn is like really weird. See if the right turns the same way. Yeah, kind of. You kind of got to power slide it. Get it to turn the way you want, and then it really overcorrects. Spin out! Yeah, it definitely doesn't have the turning. This steering trim controls your direction. The steering direction here, it limits or governs how much steering you can have. So we just turned the steering up, and we do have a little more. Like the front end is kind of pushing. Maybe we need a little softer tires in the front. We've run it with 2S nickel. We've run it with 2S lipo. It doesn't really get a whole lot of very good traction on the concrete or the carpet with these tires. So these tires that it comes with are medium. I think they're medium compound tires. It does push really bad through the corners and it doesn't turn very well. So we're gonna try some of these soft compound tires. So I got a set. They do say soft tire. We got some chrome ones. We also got some black ones. We're gonna try out the chrome first. I'm not a huge chrome fan, so it looks like these are the fronts and these are the rears. They are indeed 4mm nuts. There are bearings inside of there, so we'll pull the bearings out and put them in the new tire, which is why these fronts are bigger. Before I do that, actually let's just pop the bearings in real quick before I lose them. It does look like they have dust shields on both sides, so that's good. I would assume that there are probably better bearings out there for those who want an advantage. You can see the glue there. Gluing job isn't the greatest, but yeah, so this is the medium compound and this is the soft compound. So right away, I don't notice a huge difference. This one does feel a little stiffer than this one. So when you rub the side of it, I'm not sure there's a really good way to get that on video. So when I rub it over, you can see it doesn't really want to do anything, but if I rub this one over, it is a little bit softer. We shall see if that provides an advantage or not. And we'll swap these out and run it again. All right, so we'll start in the top view here, and we have steering. Woo. Still, it's almost like it's worse. All right, so quick interjection. I didn't actually record what I wanted to record, or I did and I lost it, deleted it, whatever the case is. So we're gonna cover real quick 2 of the biggest cons of this car. The first big con of this car is going to be the tires. These are supposed to be the soft compound tires. They're not soft. The carpet that I have, or the AstroTurf, if you will, that I have, they're definitely not soft. So you definitely need some sort of tire compound or something to make these stickier because they're definitely not sticky enough on the concrete, nor are they sticky enough on the AstroTurf. I haven't run it on anything else, so I don't have any input there. But in my mind, that is a huge problem. Second big problem, number 2, this bumper here, this foam bumper. I spent way longer than I care to admit. We're talking hours trying to figure out why this car would not do what I'm instructing it to do. It would not turn, it would not go, it wouldn't do any of that. I adjusted the caster. I moved one side forward, I moved it back. I moved the other side forward, I moved it back. I moved both sides forward and middle and back and so on and so forth. I mean, we're talking like 4 to 6 hours I spent playing with this car. Not only did I mess with the caster, I also messed with the spring rate. Right? And so come to find out, since the body was on it, I couldn't actually see that the tires were not turning in the front. I'll put a picture right over here of the stock configuration of this foam bumper. And then you can see how much I've had to eliminate or cut out because when you turn all the way one way or the other, so you can see right there where the tire just absolutely eats that foam bumper. I mean, it's so close to hitting it, and I had trimmed so much material. I mean, look at this image right here on your screen. I mean, look how close that is. So 2 of the biggest problems to me personally, it may not be an issue for you. You might have a little rougher track. I haven't run the car on clay, so I don't know if that makes a difference or not. However, just know that for this review, these are 2 of the biggest problems that I've seen. I'm not going to show you the 6 hours or whatever it is that took me to figure that out. And we'll jump right into the review after this, but I just want to make sure that everyone knows that when you do purchase one of these cars, you need to plan accordingly. Back to your regularly scheduled viewing. Mistakes were made, lessons were learned. let's go over final review and how I feel about the car overall. First things first, really happy with the receiver that it comes with, the radio. It does everything it needs to do right out of the box, and it is very beginner friendly. One thing to note is it is a full-size receiver. You can see it right here. You can swap it out for your radio, whether you have a Radio Link, a Fly Sky Noble, or whatever the case is. I'm not sure, this receiver might actually pair with the Noble, so I haven't tried it. I will do an update video, so I'll test it out and I'll bring that out in the update video. Car performs flawlessly. Like I said, I did splurge for the soft tires. I think those are actually better, in my opinion. They do have a little more traction. However, one downside to that is they will likely wear out faster. So just keep that in mind if you're worried about spending 20 bucks for a set of tires. They do sell the chrome tires and they sell black ones. Not a huge fan of the glue everywhere on them, but what can you do? Moving up from the car, super cool, very detailed, extremely happy with all of the detail. The servo performs very well. It is a micro servo, so we are probably going to stuff either a Reefs Micro 99 in there or a NSDRC RS100. Haven't really decided yet. I do have some Reefs on hand, so that might go in there. It does have a servo saver on it. The only reason that I would put a different servo in it is when I change out the radio and the receiver, I will potentially add the other servo to get a little faster steering out of it. That's really the only thing that you need it for, that and potentially the weight. So this is a plastic housed servo, and the Reefs and the NSDRC are going to be metal. Continuing up, we do have at least two adjustments to the front end. You can adjust the caster, so that brings the wheel forward or backwards, and then you can also adjust the spring rate, which is really nice, and there's holes for it, so you don't even have to take the body off. There's no adjustability in the rear outside of buying different springs. So you can buy different springs with different rates to them. For the outer side, you can make it softer or harder, whichever one you prefer, and then do the same thing for the inside. So this is supposed to be a left turn only car. I'll let you decide how you set it up. I will do a lot more testing and I'll tell you where I end up in a follow-up video. Moving into the motor and the battery, so it does come with a nickel battery. It is a 2S setup. I think you could potentially run 3S in it, but you really don't need to. When you add a LiPo to it, it really wakes the car up, and there's no control really. So you lose most of it, so adding 3S, it would be an uncontrollable car anyway. The price is $209.99, 210 bucks, and in my mind, it's worth every penny. I think that anybody that gets it and they have a garage, they can put some carpet down. Even on concrete, you can add some grip compound to the tires, and it's a very fun car, very affordable right out of the box. A couple of things to note, the nickel battery, you don't want to charge it faster than it's supposed to. It will blow up, which is why the lithium battery is so much better. I would recommend buying 2 lithium batteries so you can run one and charge one at the same time. Stay tuned. We have a lot in store. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you use the affiliate links below, it allows us to get money for that purchase that you do, and it allows us to give back. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.